yellow, and can you just sort of make a band of yellow, but don't make it too sort of dense. In other words, do it as quickly as you can all the way across. Like that. I would like you to now pick up your green and go over about a third of the yellow, lightly in the same way as you put the yellow on. Just go over it with the green and see what happens. Don't block out every bit of yellow, but just go over it so the two kind of optically mix. Yes, exactly. You get a fourth colour. Right, now we're going to take the red and we're going to go over the section that's directly under the red. Again, a third of it. So red over yellow.
Then we get orange.
Now, would you mind doing the same thing again? But this time we're going to put green all the way across. So we're going to start off by, again, putting a little patch of yellow, then a patch of green, and then your patch of red. But this time we're going to make the band that goes down first green. So I've got just that green band there. Yes, you can see that? Okay. Now we're going to reverse the order. So we're going to do the first third with yellow over the green. The second third we're going to leave, and then the final third we're going to do red over the green.
It's sort of purpley colour. Magenta.
Right, now this is quite an important band. What have I got here?
The red's gone darker.
Yes, the red's gone darker. So the red over its green, which is its complement, has gone quite a lot. It's made a nice dark, almost like a brown, hasn't it?
Mine's definitely brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the yellow over the green has made a sort of like, well, it's not quite a lime green, but it's going that way, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, now the next band we're going to do is we're going to start with green. So you're going to do a small patch of green just to identify what it is that you've started with, like we've done with the others. So a small patch of green, a small patch of red in the middle, and then if you have got an orange, I haven't got an orange, use an orange in the last little patch.
Mm.
If you've got an orange pastel, then use that. This band we're going to do is a red one. So a red band that, again, not too heavily, that goes all the way across from one side of the page to the other. And then in this first third, you're going to put the colour that's above the red, which is the green. So the green is going over the red. It's different when the red goes over the green, isn't it?
It makes a darker green.
Yes. Okay. You can leave the red in the middle, and then finally, and mine isn't going to work very well, but try if you've got orange, put it over the red. in the last band.
Very nice.
What it does is it creates something that, for me, that's like a burnt sienna.
It's like a sunset.
Yeah, burnt sienna, or a colour you would use in the sunset if you've got the orange. Yes. Now the last one we're going to do is I mean, I have two blues. I've got a dark blue, and I've also got what I would call a sort of cerulean blue. Shall we try the cerulean blue first, or in fact we could do both, I suppose, but let's go with the cerulean blue. So the cerulean blue, which is like a sort of turquoisey blue, that's your first little patch. Can you see if you can find something that's that colour? And again, I think we'll do red and yellow. So we'll have perhaps yellow at the other end, and then red in the middle. Okay. And then we're going to, the band will be blue.
We do red on top in the middle.
Yeah, red on top of the blue in the middle.
Nice. And yellow.
And yellow on top of the blue at the end. Okay, so what have I got with pushing the yellow over the blue?
Green. Green.
Yeah, exactly. Just to give you a sense of what you can do just with literally short lines of colour, intermixing one on top of the other with pastels, and not smudging or blending or anything like that, but letting the colours optically mix. And I'm going to talk a bit more about this in a minute, but just for now, we'll just leave it as it is. Okay, if you have got a dark blue, can you do, using the actual pastel, on its side, can you do a sort of little square of blue, dark blue, if you've got dark blue, or the darkest blue you've got? So if I just do that, I've just used the pastel on its side, and what you see is it covers quite a large area quickly when you use it on its side, blocking in large areas of tone or colour with pastel. It has this facility, you don't have to use it on its end in a linear way. Right, so what should we put over that? Shall we put over that blue? Let's put over yellow. So again, on its side, I'm going to put yellow over the top of the blue. I call, these are the sort of blenders that you can get from the shop, and they've got a point both ends, and you can use them to actually blend the colours together, so you don't have to use your fingers. However, as I said to you last week, I think my fingers work very well, and I don't tend to use these. But this here, this bristle-haired paintbrush, which is an oil painting brush really, is also quite useful for blending, or earbuds if you've got earbuds, or even cotton wool. So I must go over it with my bristle hair brush. I can blend the yellow and the blue together. Can you see? And it makes a very nice dark green. Right? So, if you haven't got certain colours, this exercise is to show you that you can create them by overlaying. And take your charcoal, which I've got, do happen to have a piece of charcoal here. I'm going to just show you with my charcoal. Again, using my charcoal on its side, I'm going to make a little square of black. And I'm going to go over it with, what shall I going to use? A blue. And do half blue and half red. I've got a pinky red here. And then again with my paintbrush, because I've already used it on the green and blue, I'm just going to clean it off like this on the paper towel. So it's clean. And then I'm just going to blend the black and the blue together. So you actually get a sort of grey blue. Clean off my brush again on the paper towel and do the same with the red and the black. I'm afraid you will make lots of dust when you're doing this, so you need to either put some plastic on the floor or newspaper down when you're working. So this is quite useful, these exercises, because it shows you that you can create dark colours by putting one colour on top of another. And Chris in particular, using a paintbrush or using a blender or an earbud is quite a nice way of flattening down the graininess that gets, this here, the colour just on the paper, you can see the grain of the paper coming up through the colour, which may be okay, but if you want to do, like Sue's got a glass vase today, and she might want to get it so it looks really glassy. Well, you don't want to see the grain of the paper coming up in it. So you would then use something like an earbud or your finger or a paintbrush and fuse the colours together or blend them, okay? The other thing is that you can, well, it's not working very well, but you can obviously drag colour away from the square with your finger, so you can soften things with your finger as well. That's another thing that I always find quite useful, actually softening down things. All right, of blue pots in front of me, and I thought, how on earth am I going to create those amazing colours? I've painted these pots a lot and I really like them, but I think it's going to be possible by putting colours on top of each other and blending them. I think if I get the shape looking close to what I've got in front of me, it should be fine. But you start off with either a white chalk, or you can start off with your black charcoal, but don't do a great big heavy line. Now, what you can do, if you do a white drawing to start off with, I mean, you could do a little practice if you want to on your practice paper. You can draw it in white chalk, and then you can fix it with fixative so that you don't lose the shape, and then work your colours over the top.